of players. He will be proud to be wearing that armband, Daniel Agger. Nice tan too, must have been away somewhere nice on holiday. Really is a wonderful turnout at Brøndby Stadium. Been looking forward to this fixture for quite some time. Told that there are Liverpool supporters who've made journeys from all over Scandinavia, not just Denmark. A fair contingent have come from Norway. And there is the Brøndby skipper, exchanging flowers, a local tradition with Daniel Agger. I've waited 8.5 years for his homecoming. Certainly will enjoy this evening. Really was such an integral part of that Brøndby side, which won the domestic double in the 2004-2005 season, the same season that, of course, Liverpool won their 5th Champions League. To give it its modern title, and as you can see from the two sets of players shaking hands, plenty of youthful-looking players in the Liverpool lineup. Here's Brøndby's. No surprise to see them field a strong 11 with their league season starting this weekend. Two names familiar to Premier League audiences in Martin Albrechtsen, formerly of West Brom and Derby, and of course Johan Almander, who spent last season on loan at Norwich from Galatasaray. Here's a squad at the moment awash with young talent. Brøndby, towering centre forward Simon McKinnock is one of many currently drawing scouts to Brøndby Stadium. Kallenberg is the skipper, just exchanging the pendants with Daniel Agger. We'll get to the Liverpool lineup in a moment. I'll tell you that Brendan Rodgers has brought a 23-man squad to Denmark for this game this evening. We're expecting there to be two different 11s in either half. Missing from the 23, 11 Liverpool players who featured at the World Cup, and none of the 4 new signings feature. So this is a real opportunity for some promising young players to catch the eye of their coach, and indeed those returning from loan spells, the likes of Ilodi and of course Suso and Barini as well. Yeah, certainly I've been really excited to see his Rossiter in central midfield, a player who is so highly rated at Anfield, just 17 years old. We saw a big impact, didn't we, at the end of last season in the game against Fulham, when João Carlos Teixeira came on and played a role in the move which led to the penalty, from which Liverpool scored the winning goal through Steven Gerrard, you might remember. Just about ready for the off. There is the Brøndby head coach, Thomas Frank. Achieved a return to European football in his first season as Brøndby coach. So it begins then, just 66 days after the Premier League season ended. Liverpool's preparations begin for the next. The Reds' first pre-season match. In stark contrast, it's Brøndby's final warm-up game. The new Danish Super League season gets underway this weekend, so you'd expect a tough workout for Liverpool, Dean Saunders.
Yeah, I think today's game will be about fitness. Brøndby are obviously one game away from peaking to the maximum fitness, which is what you try and do as a coach or manager. You try and get the players to peak for the first game of the season. So it's going to be a real tough game for Liverpool, and really early on in this game, if they're not careful, they could get caught out with the sharpness of Brøndby. But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool have been doing a lot of running, a lot of hard work, and maybe using this game as just for fitness.
Certainly will be a big gap in terms of that fitness, naturally, with Liverpool only just returning to pre-season training. It's pretty warm out there as well, which will be interesting to see how Liverpool cope with that.
Great chance for some of the young players, as you said, who've been out on loan, and the manager would be really interested to see, because obviously you wouldn't have seen a lot of them. Sources one, for example. Let's see how they turn out now, and hopefully they can play a part for Brendan next season.
This match also forms part of Brøndby's 50th anniversary celebrations, founded in 1964 as part of a merger of two local clubs. They are looking to, like Liverpool, really kick on next season after promising strides. Teixeira with the Pass intended for Coutinho. Demisi. Elmander really is the returning hero for Brøndby. That's from Brad Smith. Here's Daniel Agger. Really did get a fantastic reception. And he came out to have a look at the pitch pre-match. Crossfield pass by Lucas, picks out Kelly. What a big pre-season this is for Martin Kelly. Right back, a long way forward again here for Liverpool. The early ball over. Almost fell for Teixeira. Good period of possession here for Liverpool. Club's last visit to Denmark was back in July 1998. Karl-Heinz Riedler scored in a 1-1 draw against Randers Freja. That's a lovely touch. Fantastic feet from Coutinho. Ball forward towards Borini, wasn't bad either. And the goalkeeper, Radetsky, was quick off his line.
Well, great period of possession there for Liverpool. Both fullbacks push right on. And then they lose the ball, but Coutinho, a brilliant bit of skill. And if he's got the right weight on the pass here, Borini should have done a bit better for me. He should have probably put his body across the defender to make sure the defender wasn't getting at the ball, and took it with his right foot. I think he's allowed the defender to stick his toe in there. And good start for Liverpool.
Sunderland's Young Player of the Year last season, Fabio Borini, really did weigh in with some very important goals towards the end of the season, and scored in the League Cup final defeat against Manchester City at Wembley.
He's got to be thinking to himself now, if I can just play well in pre-season, I've got a chance here with Suarez going. And that'll be his aim.
Header was by Holst. This is Ernska. Really does make Brøndby tick, the captain, Thomas Keilenberg. Szymanowski to Keilenberg again. So much of their play will go through him. Szymanowski. Challenge came in from Kelly. Both sets of players appealing for it, but it will go Liverpool's way. In here, certainly making their voices heard. As you can see, a fair amount of them wearing the red of Liverpool.
It's amazing Liverpool support in Scandinavia. Obviously, I played for the club, and we used to go to Norway, Denmark, and full house every time. They just love the club. It's a big game for him, that young Jordan Rossiter today, 17 years of age, playing in Liverpool's first team in front of 30,000 near enough. He'll be playing just off the front man, trying to get in behind him and get the ball and try and thread the front three. Both teams playing the same system with two sitting midfield players, which allows the fullbacks to push right on. Obviously vulnerable on counter-attacks, but it allows you two fullbacks to get right up the pitch.
Really does boast an extensive passing range. Jordan Rossiter, England Youth International, made the bench for Liverpool twice in the Premier League last season. At Chelsea, at home against Hull City. Regular with the under-21s. He's been training a lot with the first team. In fact, since he was 16. Liverpool born. Means a lot to him. Here's Szymanowski. Keilenberg. Ernska. Norgård. Plenty of red shirts behind the ball here, making themselves as difficult as possible to break down. It's defence, an area that Brendan Rodgers keen to work on. Only Tottenham Hotspur conceded more goals in the Premier League's top 8 last season. goals. At the other end, Liverpool managed over 100 though. So exciting going forward, Liverpool.
Yeah, I actually think Brendan stumbled across it. Obviously didn't realise how well Sturridge was going to do, with Suarez was suspended. And Sturridge done really well, and then obviously after 8 games he had to put Suarez back in the team and thought, how am I going to do this? And managed to do it, and they turned them into from a solid team into a free scoring team, and it was brilliant to watch.
It's the 20-year-old Danish under-21 international Riza Demisi stood over this for Brøndby. Not a bad delivery, but it's gathered in by Brad Jones.
Well, you got to score from that, really. I think if you're a front player, striker, the ball's gone into an area there where you just need a toe poke. Not a bad delivery. Daft foul to give away from Lucas on the edge of the box. No better, dangling his leg in, but that might be a little bit of tiredness from the training they've been doing.
Well, one back here by Liverpool. It's Barini. Support arriving from Suso and others. Brøndby with plenty back. Liverpool pick the lock here. Shot watched wide by Lucas Radecki.
Yeah, like I say, Liverpool's system has its strengths and weaknesses. The strengths are obviously you can get your 2 full-backs forward. The front 3 come in off the line. 2 wide players come in off the line and try and get in behind the opposition's midfield into little pockets. The centre forward stays up on the last man to try and get in behind the back 4. The vulnerable side of it is your 2 full-backs get caught out of position. If you give the ball away, you can get counter-attacked, but Brendan Rodgers spends hours on the training ground making sure they go over sessions on that.
Really just not quite able to take that in his stride.
At least he's threatening to get in behind, because that's what you need one player always threatening to get in behind, otherwise you're passing in front of teams all the time.
They look for Barini, who has a cursory look across the line. Kaelenberg, Ernskot. Cheer for Semberger and Martin Albrechts. Gave away a penalty in their most recent pre-season friendly. Brøndby, it was a 1-1 draw against Bolton. Looking dangerous here though. Almanda loitering on the edge of the area. It will be the first corner kick of the evening for Brøndby.
Well, it was a great pass in behind, and they get a corner out of it, but as I said, this team are nearly peak fitness. All these players at Brøndby should be ready for action, and you'll notice the difference in sharpness. And what happens as a player at Liverpool, you turn up, some of these players won't be expecting a crowd like this, believe it or not. They turn up and all of a sudden this team want to beat you.
It's Demisi who sends in the corner. Dealt with by Liverpool though. Guided out of play by Brad Smith. You might remember made his debut for Liverpool as a second-half substitute in the Premier League defeat at Chelsea last season. A left-back by trade. He was actually brought on in a left-wing position that day. Martin Kelly not able to get there before Szymanowski. He's a tricky customer.
Yeah, he'd drive you mad as a striker there. He's Kelly, come back on his right foot. Why he didn't cross it, I don't know. He tried to beat him again. As a centre forward, you're pulling your hair out in the middle of the pitch. Just cross it.
Kelly. Now Lucas.
I still love playing in these games all pre-season. You know, you're doing all your running and plodding, and then you come to a stadium like this is full. Sun shining, perfect pitch, playing for Liverpool. Brilliant. Can't get any better. Unless you're a Man United fan.
Time, I should imagine it's difficult to enjoy the early days of pre-season training.
Oh, it's murder. Your blisters, and you just moan your way through the first 4 weeks, just moan at everything.
How impressed have you been with the fact that Ricky Lambert's come back to training a week earlier than he needs to?
Well, he can't believe his luck, can he? He's playing for this team, signing for Liverpool at 30. Is he 31, 30? and he probably can't wait for the season to start. Well, that tells you everything. He's come back from holidays.
Of course, Ricky Lambert, one of 4 new signings so far by Liverpool, confirmed the arrival yesterday of Lazar Markovic as well, brought in from Benfica. And there are the other signings as well, Emre Can from Bayer Leverkusen, and indeed Adam Lallana from Southampton. It's an impressive, just under 60 million. That's a good ball over as well, towards McKinnock. This is Elmander looking to spin in the area. And they did just enough there, Liverpool.
Well, that was better from Brøndby, the cross coming early there for McKinnock, who's obviously got a lot of goals from over the last couple of years. This is what you want as a striker. Great ball in there, just go and attack that. And there's Elmander showing how sharp he is compared to Aga. He gets to the ball first, didn't have the skill to actually get a shot off. Just a bit of sharpness there showing.
He scored the 1 goal in 29 Premier League appearances for Norwich last season. Elmander, difficult campaign for him and indeed his club as well. Of course, Norwich relegated, was on loan from Galatasaray. It's not that long ago, you know, that Bolton paid over £8 million for Johan Elmander from Toulouse.
Well, he's a good goal scorer, always got an eye for goal, but not the most mobile player you've ever seen. But always got goals. Good signing for Brøndby.
And coming back to the club has certainly brought back some happy memories for Brøndby supporters of them winning the double. One of the key players in that team, along with Daniel Agger and Kehlenberg as well.
Yeah, I don't understand how it took 8.5 years to get this fixture off and running, but they managed to get a full house in anyway.
Unlike perhaps in your day at Liverpool, I suppose the Scandinavia was maybe the destination of choice for Liverpool for a pre-season tour. Of course, these days it's more likely to be the USA or even further afield, isn't it?
I learnt my first lesson on that tour, Norway. I ordered a chicken for pre-season, for a pre-match meal.
Liverpool have worked this well through Coutinho, but it was just miscontrolled on the edge of the area by Teixeira.
Sorry, I was just saying, I ordered, I know it's off the wall, but I ordered a... Ronnie Moran used to go around collecting, what do you want, fish, chicken or steak? I ordered a chicken. When the chicken came around, I didn't like the look of it, so I said I'll have the steak. He went, then we were chicken short, steak short, sorry, and he's going around counting, and eventually he was going to catch me out, so he came to me and said, have you ordered the... I said, yes, me. Son, we don't do that at Liverpool. He absolutely slaughtered me because I ordered the... And it was all about being selfish, you know, playing for... It is all connected. It was like, you know, a bit harsh, but I learned my lesson quickly. First, just paid 2.9 million for me. Hammered me for eating a fillet steak.
Here's Ilori. He's back, of course, from a loan spell with Granada in La Liga. Spent the first half of last season acclimatising, if you like, at Melwood, and then sent out to get some first-team experience. Interesting to see whether he's loaned out again by Brendan Rodgers.
He's been somewhere nice as well.
Yeah, I'm told only arrived back from Brazil yesterday. That's not a bad effort. It just goes wide from Suso. Plane arrived back in England at around midday yesterday.
That's good play from Suso. That's what he's got to do. He's come inside on his left foot. He's been out on loan. Another player with a point to prove. He's got to produce because he's been there a while now. He's not just arrived. He's got to force his way in.
Yet to see either goalkeeper really work so far.
See what Barini should be thinking for me, and Lambert will be thinking the same. Don't give anybody first bite of the cherry now pre-season. If I can get in the shirt first. Now Barini's got the shirt tonight, so if he bangs a couple of goals in tonight, it makes it a bit more difficult for Lambert and Lallana to come in and take his shirt. And that's how you got to think as a player. If the minute you stop at Liverpool, they'll replace you.
Certainly, despite the departure of Luis Suarez, the competition for places in the forward areas still will be very intense indeed. Real excitement at the arrival of Markovic from Benfica. Szymanowski has managed to keep that in, but it's gathered well here by Jones.
Yeah, Markovic is a great player. I think it's hard to replace Suarez. I mean,
you can't, can you?
No. I mean, we spent Liverpool spent 60 million. I don't know what they got for Suarez. 75 is reported, 70. I don't know. But no matter how much you've received, it's hard. For me, he was like at last season, he was one of the best players in the world. I think for actually producing and winning games on his own. Him and Suarez were just beating teams up between them. So there'll be a blow. But as you said to me before we started the show, Keegan left, Dalglish left, Rush left, and life goes on. Torres, life goes on. Yeah.
Early ball in by Smith. It will come all the way across here for Sousa. Just lost his footing at the vital moment, but has managed to retain it here, Sousa. It's a clever pass as well towards Lucas. Helped on its way by Teixeira. Felipe Coutinho to have a go.
Brilliant play. Great skill. That's what we need. I mean, so like there's lots of players who produce nothing, but this is half a yard, head down, struck the ball really well. It's just off target, but it's a brilliant drag back, bit of skill. Defenders can't live with that. That's what all these players should be thinking. Can I get half a yard? He's not caught the shot properly, but good positive play.
Been desperate to get back into training. Coutinho said he was driven crazy by the off-season.
Well, after the fortnight, you get fed up. It's great having a bit of a rest, and then you just want to get back in and back into training.
The way that Liverpool played last season, what they achieved, you'd imagine that buzz is even greater at the club, perhaps, than it has been in a long time to get back going again.
It's going to be hard to achieve what they done last year, though.
Borini's made a run into the area, it isn't used, and held into his chest by Radetsky. He's a Finland international.
Again, I don't know how long we've been playing. That's 18 minutes. I think Liverpool have had 7 or 8 shots. And if Brøndby keeps standing off them from 25 yards, I'm sure one of these Liverpool players will smack one in.
Brøndby side this as well, very similar to the one that ended last season strongly. They were unbeaten in their final 7 games. In fact, had it not been for a terrible start to last season, they could have been title challengers. Didn't win any of their first 7 league games under Thomas Frank. Lost 4 of them, but they went on to lose just 3 more times in the rest of the campaign. Jones has come a long way, but it was a good decision.
When I played against these players, you know, whether it was at international level or club level, you never have like an easy game. They're always fit, they're always motivated. They actually think, some of these players will think, if I play well today, Liverpool might sign me. So their motivation in this game, all these players, is we're playing against Liverpool. They've probably watched on TV, and if I play well, they'll sign me. The Liverpool's motivation for their players is they're thinking they're trying to get fit, and you can get caught out. That's when you get beat.
Free kick given away by Jordan Rossiter.
Same Graham Souness was the manager when I was there. Ronnie Moran, Roy Evans, they've been there years, won loads of titles. They used to organise these games on purpose because it was a chance to say what they wanted to say. If you got beat by one of these teams, they would blurt it all out.
Kaelenberg with the free kick. Ball's here to Borini. Now Sousa. Coutinho is looking a little stretched for a moment there, Brøndby, but Liverpool exploit it on that occasion. Coutinho. Smith ran beyond him. Sousa, Borini waiting in the middle. Teixeira, who's dispossessed. Problem here for Thiago Ilori, which will be really frustrating. Fantastic opportunity, really, during pre-season for him to prove that he should be part of the first-team squad at Liverpool. And he had that loan spell in the second half of last season in Spain. They paid big money for him, Liverpool, to Sporting of Portugal back in August of 2013, a reported fee of £8 million. Still yet to make his Liverpool debut, an unused substitute 3 times before that loan spell. Here's Kaelenberg. Must be desperate to just get going, Ilori, in a Liverpool shirt. Kaelenberg again. Touched by Agger.
Well, I just seen him feeling the back of his leg there. It might be a hamstring he's gone off with, but if that's the case, 2 weeks, and it's, you know, as long as you get the first part of the training in, the running, and you do all the base work, you're all right. If you miss the first 2 weeks, it's hard to catch up.
Kevin Stewart, the man coming on, who signed from Tottenham on the 2nd of July on a 2-year deal. He'd been at Spurs since July of 2010. He would have been known Liverpool through Alex Inglethorpe, who is the Liverpool under-21 coach who used to work at Spurs. I would imagine that's where the link has come. He says he was a boyhood Liverpool supporter, so what a moment for him.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've seen him play quite a bit. Really skillful, sharp. Another great chance for him. Unsure what you can do.
A lot earlier than perhaps he would have expected. Semberger. Ernskott towards Szymanowski. Early touch for Stewart, and it's a fine shot on goal. Note that is for Brøndby. A fantastic strike to beat Brad Jones, and it's Christian Nørgaard, the Danish under-21 international, who's given Thomas Frank's side a 1-0 lead here.
Well, I said go out and show what you can do, a young Stewart. I didn't mean put the centre forward in on goal. He's just, his first touch, absolute disaster for him. He's come on, scuffed the clearance, but I have to say after that, I mean, he's made a mistake, but he's really took it well. Looked, gave the goalkeeper the eyes, looked as if he was going to bend it in that corner, and reversed it back in the other corner. Could the keeper have done better?
Fabulous hit by Nørgaard. Actually left Denmark originally to go to Germany and Hamburg when he was 17. He was a regular for the reserves there, but never made his Bundesliga debut. Maybe it was perhaps a case of too much too soon. He returned to his native country and is flourishing now at Brøndby, and that is evidence of it.
Well, it's a great finish. When you look at it from behind the goal, the goalkeeper had no chance. The post. Got to say, he's took it really well. That would grace any game. Look like scoring. It's just a mistake and a good finish.
Get them out of the system in pre-season. Elmander waits in the middle. McKinnock is there as well. Real purpose, verve about Brøndby's play now. Domisi. Liverpool with plenty back here. Looking to use the pace here of Borini. Needs some support. It's arriving through Stewart. It's not been a good few minutes for the substitute.
No, there's an example of his system, though. The system, Brøndby's system, letting them down. Borini just peels into the holes that the fullbacks come out of, and he's in on goal.
This is Szymanowski. And still trying to hold off Kelly. Calmly done by Daniel Agger.
Yeah, poor lad Kevin Stewart. He's come on 2 touches. First one's a disaster, and then he slips over. Can be nervous. It's nice to see him get a shot off or maybe score a goal. So he feels a bit better himself. But he would have been really nervous before the kick-off.
It's a real test of character for the 20-year-old now. I guess that's the sort of thing you're looking for as a coach, isn't it, in pre-season and indeed as a teammate, to see how someone responds to that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, like any sport, self-belief is everything. If you don't have self-belief, you don't think you're a good player, then you've got no chance. So that's how he bounces back now from that. Does he curl up in a ball and just say, don't pass to me, or does he say, no, give me the ball now, come on, I can get this out of my system and contribute to the win.
Ernskott. Clearance was by Smith, who finds touch. It's worth reminding you, this is Brøndby's 6th and final pre-season friendly. A lot more game time under their belts than Liverpool. Their first friendly was on the 19th of June, and and they are unbeaten so far in 5 matches.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, sometimes you'd be running before this game, and nobody realises watching the game, but we just finished a running.
Rossiter, of course, Liverpool's next pre-season friendly is this weekend at Preston North End at Deepdale, a game that you can see live on BT Sport. Allenberg. That game against Preston, by the way, Saturday from 2:30 on BT Sport 1. Coutinho, Liverpool looking to reply here. Really good move forward this. Delta, Daniel Agger of all people inside the area. Liverpool showing real ambition, getting forward. Coutinho, who was found by Teixeira. Suso. Can't quite find the room for the shot. Lucas. Stewart. Here by Felipe Coutinho. Barini. Players arriving in the middle. The shot was by Barini. This is Coutinho. Turn inside the area, and a good save as well by Rodetsky. Has to gather at the second time of asking as well. More encouragement for the Liverpool supporters. That was better.
Yeah, Coutinho's at the heart of everything. Looks really sharp, really skillful. I thought he had a chance to put Barini in when he put Agger in. He chose the wrong option. Barini was in early. But round the box, he looks really sharp and really inventive, and he's the first to react again from the shot. He's put the striker through and then followed it himself. But good play from Liverpool. I'm sure they'll come back and get some goals in this game.
At the moment, they have some defending to do with Brøndby winning a corner. It's Liverpool with the opposition on one of the greatest nights in Brøndby's history. Knocks Roy Evans' Liverpool side out of the UEFA Cup in October of 1995. 1-0 it was at Anfield. First leg had finished 0-0. Dan Eggen it was for Brøndby. The side included the likes of McManaman, Rush, Fowler, Redknapp, Barnes. It's Demisi with the corner here for Brøndby. The delivery it was too, but just couldn't quite keep the header down. The former West Brom player, Albrechtsen.
Well, young Brad Smith here, he's marking him. Just lets him drift off. That's a bad sign. How old is he, Brad Smith? 20? 21? If you can't pick somebody up from a corner and stay with them, that's the basics for a defender. Just let the boy get inside him and get free-headed. He's got to learn from that.
He did well in the final game of last season, another friendly away against Shamrock Rovers when he was played in his favoured left-back position, Brad Smith, as he is doing today. He's actually born in Australia, moved to England at the age of 14, Brad Smith. England under-21 international.
Well, I would be showing him the DVD tomorrow and saying, look, you know, that could happen on the last day of the season when we're trying to win the league. I put you in the team. Are you going to do that? And let John Terry come and head one in. So show them the DVD. That's how they learn, young players, sometimes looking at and say, look, you know, what you're going to do different to that. Can't let him get inside him. If he's going to get a header in, make sure he's behind you, out the back.
It's past the half-hour mark at the Brøndby Stadium. Goal separating the two sides. Real beauty. Scored by Christian Nørgaard.
Two good players on the bench there. Colin Pascoe, I played with him at Swansea when I was a young player. Really skillful. Went on to Sunderland. And Mike Marsh was the best five-a-side player I've ever played with, but really good. Obviously 11v11, but in training, five-a-side, his touch was brilliant. Got a bad injury, had to pack in early.
That's intended for Szymanowski, slightly off its target. Kelly goes down. Rather Suso, I should say, as Stewart looks to win a throw-in. Szymanowski. Lucas. McKeenock it was who was first to it for Brøndby. Kælenberg. Now Fredrik Holst. 19-year-old right-back Holst. In fact, he's Brøndby's youngest ever debutant, 17 years. Liverpool just sitting off for a moment. Header from Ernst. Heady pass by Borini, but well controlled by Agger. Now Coutinho. One beyond him was by Smith. Stewart. Of course, we have so much pre-season entertainment coming up for you on BT Sport. Let's point you in the direction of Tottenham against the Seattle Sounders. That on BT Sport 1, Saturday at 9 o'clock. Thomas Frank must be absolutely delighted with the way his side have acquitted themselves so far, achieving a return to European football in his first season with the club. Didn't actually have any playing career. His coaching career began 19 years ago within youth football, eventually put in charge of the Danish under-17s in 2008, promoted to the under-19s in 2012, narrowly missed out on qualification with them for the 2013 under-19 European Championship. He's impressed plenty of people in his first club job. This one for Suso to chase. Tidied up by the experienced Albrechtsen, miscontrolled by Szymanowski. Nodded forward by Stewart to Rossiter, dispossessed by Szymanowski. Elmander. Won back fairly by Suso, who has Stewart in support. It's a neat 1-2. Borini with a run through the middle. Stewart's gone for the return. It was the right idea, but just came off the heels of Semberger.
Not been goals in the game. A bit testimonial-ish. In the game there was Lucas Levers gave a foul away early on. Another foul Brad Smith gave away, but I think it's been 3 or 4 fouls.
We talked about how would respond to that difficult start to his game. We saw just down that right-hand side there, it's been a good response.
Yeah, he could have just sat back. He's tried to overlap twice. He could have just sat back there, but he's trying to get involved in the game, redeem himself. He'll be happy to get the game played and feel part of the group.
Teixeira.
Penalty.
Borini was in the middle, but referee had a good view of that. Wasn't interested. It's through the legs of McKeenock. So shot was certainly travelling.
He's probably just outside the box, but I think it was a foul. Seen him given.
Sliding challenge penalised. Stewart that was with it.
Yeah, that's trying a bit too hard there. You're going to give a foul away. If you dive in like that, you're going to give a foul away nowadays. They've changed the rules. Stay on your feet.
Semberger. Guided out of play by Smith. Certainly youth a real watchword at Brøndby right now. Really been trying to find the sprinkling of experience needed to help them develop and challenge for Honest Johan Elmander. His arrival, an example of that. Before his signing, they actually fielded a team in pre-season with an average age of just under 21. Of course, Liverpool fans too, with cause for excitement about young prospects in and around the first team. You already know about the likes of Sterling and Flanagan. but who perhaps has a breakthrough season ahead of them.
There's a quiz question. Which former Liverpool goalkeeper played for Brøndby?
Shall we tell them now?
Leave them think about it for a minute.
I didn't know when you told me this before the game, I should say. Borini just clipping the heels there. He was on loan from Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah. Give you a clue, he's still playing. And he's American.
So Mr. Brad Friedel. Yeah. What a career he's had. A good friend of yours?
Yeah, I played with him at Galatasaray. Obviously, we've been good friends. And I was his coach at Blackburn for a number of years, but he's been a brilliant goalkeeper, hasn't he? You never see him make many mistakes. Still going, great athlete.
Szymanowski with the ball over. No nonsense clearance was by Agger. Rossiter puts it out of play for Liverpool. Both these clubs eagerly anticipating a return to European action this season. Liverpool back in the Champions League after a 4-season absence. Far too long for a club of Liverpool stature.
No, and the biggest thing of all is when you're sitting down with a player trying to get him to sign for you, he's got other options. And if you're not in the Champions League, he's signing for the teams that are. So now Liverpool have got that weapon. So the best players will come and sign for him because they're playing in the Champions League. And obviously you get better results. Chain reaction from there.
Certainly will be the lasting legacy, won't it, of Luis Suarez to help the club get back into that position. 31 Premier League goals last season, 10 more than second in the list, which was Sturridge.
Yeah, and as I said, you know, it's all right having 75 million to spend, but if you're not in the Champions League, you're on shelf 2 when you're shopping. When you're in the Champions League, you can spend all that money on the top players because, like I said, they know they're going to be playing in the greatest competition there is.
Stewart. Rossiter in support, decided not to use him, picks out Suso instead. Held off the defender well there, Suso. Getting forward here for Liverpool, and a deflection takes it out for a corner.
Well, there's an example of what you've got to do to this system. When a team's playing with 2 sitting midfield players, obviously the middle of the pitch is full. You can't go through the middle of the teams. You've got to keep switching play, like Liverpool have tried there. They've gone on the right, and then the full-back come and make one, which Brad Smith's done there and nearly scored.
Showing plenty of ambition to get forward from left-back. Smith, ball was in towards Kelly, headed by Elmander. Lucas, his 8th season at Liverpool. Lucas, last campaign frustrating for him in terms of injuries. Borini's in the middle, goalkeeper's done well there to get it clear. Radetsky, he's been reliable when called upon so far, the Finland international.
Good run from Borini though. He made the right run as a striker, getting across the near post. Could have scored if the ball was a bit lower. He's made the right.
Borini, a player who was so well known to Brendan Rodgers before he brought him to Liverpool, with him both within the Chelsea youth setup and the first team at Swansea when he was once on loan. You would think if anybody can get that talent out of Borini, it will be Brendan Rodgers. And was so effective at times, particularly in the second half of last season at Sunderland. Mentioned earlier some of the really important goals he scored, but here come Liverpool again. Just look a bit stretched here. Brøndby at the bat, the ball over by Smith. There were 3 inside the area, just couldn't quite pick out the pass or find the room for it, the left back.
No, well that's the difference. At the highest level, he's done brilliant to get young Smith, and all he's got to do is pick his head up. just put a bit of disguise on what he was trying to do and chop the ball back. I think Coutinho was coming in for a tap-in. Wrong option, picked the wrong option.
Thomas Frank will love testing himself against someone like Brendan Rodgers. He's a very ambitious young coach, Thomas Frank. Now, Brendan Rodgers is slightly older than him. Be used to that. Sousa.
Brendan Rodgers, he's done brilliant, hasn't he? Really, with when you look back, sit back and think about what he's done and what he had to do when he first arrived at the club. Finishing where they did last year, selling a player for 70 million. I think his bosses must be really pleased with him.
Well, to go from 7th to 2nd is quite some going. First ever Liverpool manager to win the prestigious LMA Manager of the Year award in its 20-year history. It's a deep delivery, which is met by the head of Martin Albrechtsen. He's kept in though. So plenty in there for Liverpool. Controlled by Elmander on the edge of the area. It's a period of concerted pressure here from Liverpool. And they get back on terms before the break.
Bit harsh, I think, the foul there. Why sticky legging though? Why give him a chance? Barini's done well. He's felt the tackle. There was a lot of debate in the World Cup whether we should be buying more fouls, British players. There's an example there of Barini waiting for the contact, getting the touch, over he goes, gets a free kick.
It's Coutinho who will take this for Liverpool. Floated delivery is far too close to Lukas Radecki.
A waste. These things happen though, pre-season. I don't know what he's aiming for there. I think he's trying to score.
He's a player who left his native Brazil at the age of 16 to go to Internazionale. Those years ago, Felipe Coutinho. He was a little too young for it at the time, but certainly impressed so many people last season with Liverpool. And you feel there's more to come from him as well. Still a young man at 22.
He's got terrific skill. He's not really interested in the physical side of the game, but he's got terrific skill. Sees a pass, can put people in on goal and can score himself. He done some brilliant things in the latter part of last season. When you think you've got Henderson, Lambert, Jan, Lallana, Sterling, Gerrard to come into this squad, must excite all the Liverpool fans. And I'm sure he's not finished yet, Brendan, with the spending.
Well, certainly a left back is a priority, doesn't it? And maybe another centre half. Liverpool's strength in depth will be much more tested this season. Could get an equalising goal here. It almost fell for Barini. The original shot was by Lucas. It's Coutinho. Been added on time at the end of the first half. Liverpool coming so close to an equalising goal. Being played in real heat here, the Danish capital. But it's the home side Brøndby who have the half-time lead. A real beauty of a goal scored by the Danish under-21 international Christian Norgard. The difference between the two sides. Here is that effort for Liverpool. A shot by Lucas. And the goalkeeper really brave there, diving at the feet of Fabio Barini. And Coutinho dispossessed, and the chance was gone. And there was the half-time whistle. We'll look back at the best of the first half next.
First game get your fitness levels in, making sure that players don't get too tired where muscles start pulling, because as I said, they've been training quite heavily, doing a lot of base work. So the manager decided to just give them all 45 minutes, I think.
Is that about right at this stage of pre-season, Liverpool's first game?
Yeah, you just don't want... You don't really want players to be... Because, as I said, the training's harder than the games. And then you go into this game and play 90 minutes on top of training hard. You're liable to pull a muscle. If you pull a muscle, 3 weeks, you miss all the important games. So you ease them in gently.
Of course, in goal for Liverpool in the first half was Brad Jones, but a player very well known, Daniel Ward, to you, Dean, a player that you sold from Wrexham to Liverpool.
Well, yeah, he was in the process of it. We had clubs interested in him, and we needed probably 250,000 to keep the academy going. And Liverpool come in for him. It's a great move for him, and it just shows you, he started in the conference at Wrexham, and Liverpool come and bought him. So never give up. These players who get released from big clubs and end up playing in the conference, just got to put the performances in. Somebody will come back for him.
Dorian with the pass, just straight offside. Peterson.
Real strong character, Danny Ward. Real good voice, talks, doesn't let things faze him. Good kicker of the ball, good shot stopper.
Been at Wrexham from the age of 14. Welsh senior international call-up against Finland in November of 2013. No first team debut yet, but twice on the bench. So many young players out there for us to talk about. People, regular watchers of Liverpool's under-21s and under-18s over the years, will be very familiar with, but not so familiar to your mainstream audience, if you like. That's fantastic. From Ibe, real pace and directness about his game. Taken to the byline, good ball over two, and Liverpool have equalised. It's Peterson. What a start to the second half, and two of Liverpool's youngsters combine.
Well, what a brilliant bit of play from Ibe. Great impact from the bench, and Peterson has probably not touched the ball. It's a great bit of skill. He's just let it run through his legs. Defender's gone for it, and then he's shown a bit of pace, a turn of foot. Good control running the ball, gets to the byline, cut back. Peterson in the right place in the 6-yard box, and just nudges it over the line. I used to like them goals. They were my favourites. Just stand in the 6-yard box and get cut back from the byline. Great play from Ibe though. What an impact.
He's just 19 years old. Christopher Peterson, a Swedish under-21 international, signed by Liverpool in January of 2011. He agreed a new deal with the club in January of this year. He was a 17-minute substitute in the final game of last season, that friendly against Shamrock Rovers, a 4-0 win for Liverpool. It's a different looking side altogether, isn't it? Not just in terms of personnel at the start of this second half. Liverpool look like they really mean business.
Yeah, well, right back of Brøndby gets out of position there, and Ibe's in again. Probably still recovering from the last run he's made. He's walking now, look. That's 2 runs the length of the pitch he's had. Here he goes again. Has he got it in his legs?
He's exactly a year younger than Raheem Sterling. Ibe, one of those that feel he has the raw potential to be as good as Sterling. Some have even suggested perhaps better, but of course remains to be seen, and a lot of developing to do. It's so hard, isn't it, to gauge just how good a player is going to be in the first team.
They got
at that sort of age.
They got to keep playing, and unfortunately for managers, you got 6 games. If you don't win 6 games, you're on the brink of the sack these days. So to leave young players in when they're not doing that well, but Brendan's managed to do it with Sterling, and look at the difference it's made to his game. He's playing for England. But Ibe's a good prospect, always pace and skill, always got a chance.
Says the area of his game that he's trying to work on the most is his finishing.
That's the most important bit. look at Messi, Suarez, Ronaldo, all the top players, they get half a chance, they finish.
He's loaned to Birmingham.
As Ron Atkinson used to say, the game is littered with strikers who don't score. Score, or I'm not picking it. That's what he used to say to me.
To the point. Square ball by Jones to Skirtle. Lloyd Jones, 18 years old, under 18 international. Here's Ibe again. Have another run at Holst. He doesn't know what's hit him at the moment. That time, Peterson's control just slightly let him down. Kehlenberg. Demisi. Of course, Liverpool could yet face Danish opposition in this season's Champions League. This season's champions, Aalborg, or indeed the runners-up FC Copenhagen. But Peterson having another run here. He's penalised the Liverpool forward. What a start it's been for him.
Well, he's shown a bit of pace there as well, but I think the defender's done really well, just got his body across him, stopped him getting round him. Joe Allen is another player I had at Wrexham. He's done brilliant. He's playing for Swansea at the time and took him on loan, scored on his debut against York City. Great goal. He just needs to establish himself in the team now, and he's got a kick on.
Of course, captain Wales for the first time on the 4th of June against the Netherlands.
Yeah, Welsh speaker, there's not many. He's one. John Hartson's another one. Speak Welsh. I think there's probably 3 or 4 in the team, which is shameful, really. I don't speak Welsh. I can speak a little bit.
Here's Dumic, who's on as a second-half substitute for Brøndby. The changes clearly will be more limited with their first game of the season coming up on Sunday. Time for tinkering really is pretty much over for Brøndby.
Great atmosphere in the ground for a friendly, and it seems to have lifted now with Liverpool scoring. The fans have come to life.
Flanagan. Now Ibe. Kehlenberg. It's a nice touch by Elmander. McKenna with the floated cross. It was a good delivery in there too. There will be a real threat in the forward areas for Brøndby this season. McKenna and Elmander, a handful, lots of height in their forward areas. Ibe waiting in the middle. Dorian was there too.
Well, this is where Brøndby have got a chance to counter-attack, but they don't seem to have the pace to hurt Liverpool on the counter-attack. But there, Liverpool committed 6 players forward. The cross goes into the goalkeeper's hands. He throws it out, but they haven't got the energy and pace to actually hurt Liverpool's back 4. Slowed the game down again.
It's been a while since Brøndby actually tasted defeat either in competitive or friendly action. Danish champions Aalborg BK with a team to beat them. That was on the 13th of April. I imagine Daniel Agger will have a fair bit of autograph signing to do on his way out of the Brøndby Stadium today. He really is an absolute hero at Brøndby.
Well, he's done well for Liverpool, hasn't he, over the years? He's been a good servant to the club. He's had Jamie Carragher alongside him, who, by the way, would have given Ibe a rocket for Black Heel in the ball in front of his own goal like he did. And that's how they learn, you know, from your peers. You learn more from your peers than any coach, and people like Jamie Carragher are priceless.
Jones. he's comfortable on the ball. Lloyd Jones on the ball here. He's an unused substitute once for Liverpool in the Premier League, a 3-1 win at Fulham in May of 2013. Kellenberg. It's brought down there by Adorian.
Yeah, Dorian's given the ball away and then tried to redeem himself. Just young, that's what young players do. He's trying to redeem himself. He's actually got the ball, and obviously tackling from behind. The referee can't see that, gives a foul.
He's been at Liverpool a while now. Adorian, mentioned earlier, he was on loan in the Dutch Eredivisie last season at Groningen, but signed by Liverpool from MTK Budapest in 2009. What can they do from this? Plenty forward here from Brøndby. It's only just wide from the skipper, Thomas Kellenberg.
Effort, but I think Brad Jones had it covered. But it's a great effort. He struck it really well. The keeper's got it covered. It's a long way out. Yeah, Brad's just pulled his arm back last second.
In his second spell with Brøndby, Thomas Kellenberg. First was between 2001 and 2005 in the first team. He was with them as a youngster from 1998. Actually once had a trial at Blackburn back in 2011. Touch here for the Brøndby goal scorer, Norgård. Even he was shot the way that pace and determination and tenacity with which Liverpool started the second half. Back on level terms so quickly through the Swedish under-21 international Peterson. Confident claim by Brad Jones. Kept goal in all three of Liverpool's FA Cup ties last season, Brad Jones. It's Oldham, Bournemouth and Arsenal. Wasn't selected by the Socceroos in the summer for the World Cup. Starting his 5th season now with Liverpool. Still is interesting actually to see how the goalkeeping situation works out, but of course it would seem that Pepe Reina won't be making his loan move to Napoli permanent, and of course with Mignolet on the books as well.
I was surprised Reina went, to be honest with you. Like, he's been a great goalkeeper for Liverpool over the years. His distribution's unbelievable, which is what Brendan wanted from the goalkeeper. Mignolet's done great last season. Brad Jones unfortunately has been behind 2 good goalkeepers. But you're right, you know, it's interesting to see what's going to happen, whether Reina stays and ends up playing.
Problem here for Riza Demisi.
Dead leg.
He's been with Brøndby since the age of 6. He's one of quite a few in this Brøndby side who have been attracting the attention of scouts from around Europe. Mentions at the top of the programme the centre forward McKinnock is another one, and of course the goal scorer as well, Christian Norgård. We've seen his ability. Cody it was winning the free kick for Liverpool. Did very well indeed on loan at Sheffield United last season.
He did. I watched him play a few times for Sheffield United last season. He was the best player on the pitch.
Got a game at Wembley as well, of course, too. Cup semi-final.
No reason why he can't get in the team this season. There's another player who's going to, you know, what's going to happen with him? He played for Derby last season, had a great season at Derby. Real disappointment at the end, not actually getting promoted, but he's back at Liverpool, so he'll be thinking to himself, what's going to happen to me now? Am I going to play, or am I going to go out on loan again?
It's fantastic for Brendan Rodgers. When we look at this Liverpool squad, we get a chance to see some of the younger players, some of the fringe players get a chance, and you think, you know, well, they have Wisdom there, who potentially could go back out on loan again, but does he have Johnson in front of him? He potentially has Flanagan in front of him, whose natural position would be at right back as well. So really is creating strength and depth, isn't he, Brendan Rodgers? Which is they're going to need this season.
Yeah, and in the Champions League, so he's got money to spend. So I'm sure he can fill the team up with world-class players. just good Premier League players.
Another name I didn't mention there for right back as well is Martin Kelly, who can play in that position, also at centre back.
Yeah, it is nice to see all the players out there, and the fans watching this game now must be thinking we've got a great future in front of us. There's so many of them.
Frank Kellenberg. He seized upon Liverpool on the counter-attack here. Flanagan's distribution was good, but all through in turn wasn't.
He's got a great attitude, Flanagan, wants to win, wants to take part in the game, cares what the result is, which you think all footballers do, but I promise you not all of them do. But he is definitely a player you can rely on.
Almanda battling to win it back here. They pick out a good cross here towards McKinnock. Well read that by Martin Skirtle. He knew exactly where McKinnock was, right behind him. Here's that double change then. Miguel Tuzen coming on here for Brøndby. Ariel Nunez. Martin Albrechtsen, one of those being replaced. Jose Ariel Nunez, Paraguayan international. Scored 6 goals in 12 league appearances for Brøndby last season, the second half of the season. The first half of it was spent at Osasuna in Spain. Johan Almanda given a rest for the last half hour or so. That first game of the season coming up on Sunday will be so important for the Brøndby cause this season. The other substitute, Miguel Tuzen, Danish international. It's actually one signed by the former Bayern coach, Jupp Heynckes, for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
I've been a bit disappointed. I was looking forward to see McKinnock play. Not really done anything in the game. He is a goal scorer, so they can pop up at any time, but he's not really had much impact on the game.
His record in the league in Denmark last season was 1-2, 12 goals in 24 league games. He turned down a move to the Russian Premier League last summer. But it was better to stay in Denmark and continue his development with Brøndby. He was actually an unused substitute for Denmark against England in the 1-0 loss for the Danes at Wembley in March.
Be a good result for Brøndby if it stays 1-0. Sorry, 1-1. Draw against Liverpool. And if they don't get any injuries, the manager will be. This will be his team that's starting. You do that the game before. Normally, you've got your team in your head. It's ready to play. Bring the subs on. Fingers crossed nobody gets hurt, ready for the big game on Sunday.
Here's Ibe.
Again, skill.
Really is giving Holst a tough time. Still Ibe, it's a wonderful run. And it's well saved, down to his right by Lukas Radecki. But again, that pace, that directness, that quality in the ball, causing all sorts of problems.
And then you look at the difference between him and Ian Robin. That's the difference in levels. He's saying he's got to improve his finishing. He does brilliant. Makes something out of nothing, cuts inside his right foot. Weak finish.
Still so much
skill.
Improving to do, hasn't he, though, at just 18 years old.
Yeah. Now this is the main bit. Finish that or put your foot through it. Robin scores there, all the top wingers.
It's Demisi. Looks the favourite to hit this. Left-footed. Jones just slightly off his line. Kellenberg there too. Oh, it's off the woodwork. Wonderful hit. Looked like a handball on the edge of the area. Referee giving a free kick. It was Phillips who seemed to be inadvertently caught that with his forearm. Brøndby going so close to getting back in front.
Yeah, width of the crossbar. And they've got another good chance. Demisi this time. Nearly dipped it over the keeper.
One or two appeals from the Brøndby supporters that he was inside the area there.
Close.
Phillips. It's almost too close, isn't it?
Has to be a right footer this down the goalkeeper's side. It's difficult to get it up and down when you're this close.
Same two players there. Nisi and Kerlenberg is the captain who hits it this time. Deflects off the wall. They're saying there was a handball, but it will be a corner to Brøndby.
He's just tried to flip it over the wall, but it's difficult to get the ball coming back down when you're that close. As you said, normally you're better off just shifting the ball and striking it on the far into the far corner. Try and get a rebound off the goalkeeper.
Kinnock couldn't quite get to that for Brøndby. Cleared by Jones. Only temporarily, though. It's going to come straight back at Liverpool. Kinnock gets his head to it, and it's held under his crossbar by Brad Jones.
First we've seen of him, and he showed a bit of body strength there. In the Danish league, he probably knocks the centre-backs out the way there, but there he's just leaned on Skirtle, got ahead of him, but not enough pace on it.
He's used all his experience there, Martin Skirtle. Starting his 8th season with Liverpool, who's the highest scoring defender in the Premier League last season. Here comes Peterson, but the flag is up.
Close.
Wide regardless.
I'd like to see that again. Is he off?
Marginal.
Left back might have been playing him onside there. Shows how difficult it is for the linesman in them situations. We've got the replay in front of us. Still can't tell.
Dumic.
See, in this situation here, what you do in training, you'll set little traps. So you make the ball go to a certain direction, and then everybody pounces in.
Liverpool defending in numbers here. Certainly have found their passing range again here, Brøndby. Look the more likely. This Ibe. Referee immediately bringing a halt to proceedings. Head injury for Adorian. Of course, head injuries under so much focus, weren't they, at the recent World Cup? And certainly looks fine to continue here in Hungarian.
It was just the ball.
Wrong under the clearance.
Yeah. Oh, they hurt for about 30 seconds.
A stinger.
Them balls, the mitre balls that we used to use.
The ones with the dimples.
They hurt.
Yeah, particularly on a cold day, I should imagine. Goalkeeper a long way out. Radetzky looking to rush back now. He's ambitious. And it will be a throw-in.
Yeah, it's just like the goalkeeper there getting bored, probably. That's what they do sometimes. They get bored and try and get involved in the game. Nearly made a mess of it.
Quite a character, Radetzky. He's played in every minute of the last 2 Danish Super League campaigns. Born in Slovakia, but chose to represent Finland at international level. The Danish Super League Goalkeeper of the Year in 2013 is McKinnock. Tusen, who gave chase for the home side. Brøndby, a club that's undoubtedly had hard times over the last decade, both on and off the pitch. A feeling of cautious optimism now, though. Young squad, lots of potential, led by, as mentioned, a forward-thinking coach in Thomas Frank. It'll be interesting to see if they can kick on again this season. All sounds a little familiar to Liverpool, doesn't it? Albeit on different levels.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I was just wondering, John Jensen, the former Arsenal player, I'm not sure whether he's involved with the club. There was talk of him joining, and I'm not sure whether he did.
The home supporters hoping for a free kick there from the challenge on Szymanowski by Wisdom. Ibe, and by Adorian. Look at this run here from Flanagan. Good ball over to... Thanks. Out well by the goalkeeper, Radetzky. The effort by Joe Allen, but really good move again, that by Liverpool.
This is great desire from Flanagan. Look at the effort he's making there, just to make things happen.
just to clarify your earlier question, Dean, John Jensen is indeed a consultant, is his official title with Brøndby.
Yeah, I thought he was, and it's a great man to have in charge. You know, he's got a lot of experience. I thought he was director of football, but he's a consultant, a similar type thing, and he'll be advising who to sign, which direction to go in. And they look like they're really ambitious, and they're gonna go for it. And John is one of the funniest footballers I've ever come across. Great to play golf with.
Took him an age, didn't it, to score his first goal for Arsenal, but I remember when it finally came, it was a beauty, wasn't it?
But he was a team player. You know, he played for Arsenal. He was the player that just used to do, suppose, what Lucas does for Liverpool. You know, unsung heroes. Jordan Henderson's obviously, that's been put to him by Brendan Rodgers. Are you prepared to do what I ask you to do to stay at the club? And Jordan's obviously said, yeah, I'll run box to box. I'll sit in front of the back four. I'll sacrifice my own game. So when you got somebody like John Jensen in charge of the club, that'll spread right through. Because John Toshak once said to me, if the generals and the colonels can't get it right, the soldiers can't win the war. And that means if it's not right at the top, you'll never get the team right.
It's Flanagan. Now Skirtle. Brøndby preparing Ferhan Hassani for action. Very clearance was from Dumic, and this is Wisdom. Jones under a bit of pressure, manages to find Wisdom here. Szymanowski. Cody it was inside the area. Skirtle with the final clearance. Comes that substitution then. Hassani, a Macedonian international, signed from Wolfsburg in Germany in August of last year. Actually a former Macedonian Footballer of the Year back in 2011. He'll come on here for Alexander Szymanowski. Creative player, Hassani. Good free kick taker as well, actually. A beauty against the rivals FC Copenhagen last season.
And from Brendan's point of view, looking at this, Jordan Ibe's caught the eye. You know, he's touched the ball 4 times, beat the fullback 3 times. Could have scored a goal himself, made a goal. So he's not done himself any harm. Young Jordan Rossiter couldn't really get in the game first half. It was a big game for him. Didn't really get in it.
Must be a real dilemma for Brendan Rodgers as to whether to send Ibe out on loan again.
Well, as I said, he's got money to spend, and if he will look at the squad and think, right, well, let's see where we are in 3 weeks, and then he'll decide who he loans out. But right now he'll be watching closely.
Could well see Ibe in action again for Liverpool. Their next pre-season game coming up at the weekend against Preston, live on BT Sport 1 Saturday at 2:30 from Deepdale. Side flag up against the substitute Ferhan Hassani.
Normally, in a few weeks, probably, but normally you'd have a few big hitters on the bench around about now. You know, 15 minutes to go. But obviously with the World Cup being on and Lambert and Henderson and Gerrard, he's given extra time off. But I think like a top striker now could come on and score against this Brøndby defence.
Lovely feet from Adorian. Lloyd Jones. Made more appearances than any other player in the under-21s for Liverpool last season, Lloyd Jones. Strong, good in the air. It's in towards McKinnock here. Has Alion Nunez in support as well. No nonsense defending by Skirtle, got the job done.
As I said, there's a difference against a Danish centre-back. He probably knocks him over there with using his body strength, but Skirtle's world class. Different level. That's probably why he's not getting much joy out of it.
Cody.
Wisdom's a strong player, Skirtle's a strong player. Can't outstrength them two. Got to beat him with skill.
Here's Joe Allen.
He's another player with a great attitude, Joe Allen. You'd have him in your team every week.
There were question marks, weren't there, last season after the financial outlay that there was on Joe Allen, but if you agree, I just thought that he really seemed to improve as the season wore on, and was in that game against Manchester United. I thought he was a good candidate for man of the match in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, he can do a bit of everything. You know, if it, like as a midfield player, you normally turn up for a game, and there's three things you turn up. You're training every day. Three things you got to have. If it's a box-to-box game in the middle of that pitch in midfield, which is the engine room, if it's a box-to-box game, you've got to be fitter than the player you're playing against. If it turns into a bit of a scrappy game, you've got to be more determined than the player you're playing against. So, whatever you want to do, Joe could do that. If you wanted a football match, he'll play you at that. So he's got them three things in his game. So he'll always have an impact for whatever team he plays for. It's at what level he can sustain that game at.
Triple change then made by Thomas Frank here. Mikael Almebak, Swedish international, one of those coming on, as is the South African Levogang Piri, and Patrick De Silva, who's 19, a Danish under-20 international, completes that trio. He actually signed a new contract with the club until 2018. Last summer, Patrick De Silva, and one of those going off, the goal scorer for Brøndby, Christian Nørgaard. You'll remember that strike for a long time against Liverpool.
Might get him a move, that. That's what they hope for, these players. They're flat out to the boards.
I'd imagine he'll really be fancying another crack at one of Europe's top leagues. Christian Nørgaard, having had a short but relatively unsuccessful spell as a teenager at Hamburg in Germany. McKinnock has Hassani in support, decided not to use him though. This is Jose Ariel Nunez. Peterson to chase, the Liverpool goal scorer.
That's okay. He's given a foul away there, but he's chasing a lost cause, and as a striker, that's what you've got to do. It's not all about scoring.
Almebak with a race on to get to that. He's just about kept it in, and Martin Skirtle had to take evasive action. How about that for a contribution from the man just on?
Yeah, well, that's like determination and like one look. Trying to get involved in the game straight away. Great cross. You need a striker there who can anticipate, realise he can't get that to the back post, surely he'd get across the near post.
Here comes the corner, in towards McKinnock. Dived upon by Brad Jones.
He's not had a lot to do, Brad, really. They've hit the crossbar. Not a lot else I can think about. So we've had a comfortable afternoon.
Played wide by Adorian to Wisdom. Flag is down here. It's Ibe who's in. Has support, and it's a good save by Radetsky. Just maybe caught in two minds there, Ibe. Jose Ariel Nunez. Well, he said it himself, Ibe, that his finishing is the area of his game that he's, with Brendan Rodgers on the training ground, working on the most. We've seen a couple of occasions in the second half where perhaps he could have done a little better. That not to, though, do down what has been a really good performance from the Liverpool youngster. Now Brøndby attack at the other end. Jose Ariel Nunez was hoping for the return, cleared by Wisdom. Piri is fouled. Free kick Brøndby. Dangerous.
Game's getting stretched now and should see some chances. Both teams trying to win. But Jordan, great to go through and score, but I think that's a foul. Pulling his shirt there, Joe. To pull his shirt, you're going to give a foul away. So there's an opportunity for these to score.
We saw Demisi hit the woodwork from a similar sort of range from the other side. Looks like Ferhan Hassani could well get this one. He is a free kick specialist. Hassani, oh, and he's hit the woodwork too. Fantastic effort. Let off for Liverpool.
Unlucky.
Piri's cross. Jones stays on his line. The head by Hassani goes wide. But what a good free kick.
Yeah, the flight on the ball was perfect. A bit of luck if it just got half an inch and that hits the underside of the bar and goes in. But don't give fouls away round the box against these teams. This is their best chance of scoring, corners and free kicks. So you don't give fouls away.
Here comes that goalkeeping change that we'd been expecting. I thought it might be made quite a bit earlier actually, but Daniel Ward, normally managed by Dean Saunders at Wrexham, placing Brad Jones here, Welsh under-21 international. Daniel Ward, mentioned earlier, he was given his first senior call-up for the game against Finland in November of 2013, was only on the bench, but another really promising young player at Liverpool. He'll be delighted to get a chance here.
Well, I can't tell you how pleased I am to see him coming on there. Like, look back a few years ago, he's in my office and he was like a stick insect, and he's filled out, he's got big shoulders on him, always confident. So he's now playing for Liverpool's first team. All the Wrexham fans will be proud as well. They'll be a bit disappointed they never got to see a bit more of him.
So with the club from the age of 14. Just missed by Peterson. Wide here for Alan Mabak. Of course, Liverpool will be hoping for a similarly good start to that which they enjoyed last season. Won their first 4 matches in all competitions against Stoke, Aston Villa, Notts County and Manchester United. Liverpool start the forthcoming campaign at home against Southampton. 4 trips to Manchester City and Tottenham. Perhaps the fixture computer hasn't been quite so kind to Liverpool this time round.
Well, I don't know. I think if you ask Brendan, he'd say take that. You know, we've got Southampton at home, should win. Villa at home, they should win. West Ham away, probably should win that. The 2 tough ones, the Man City away, Tottenham away. But Liverpool are a good team. I mean, they'd be looking at, I think we can win them all.
The Merseyside derby in the 6th game as well. Most a mishap for Daniel Ward. Ariel Nunez inside the area. Flanagan couldn't quite get there first.
If that had gone under his foot and in the net, I might have had to put the mic down and go home.
After the build-up as well.
I built him up.
Nunez looks like he's going to be able to run that off. Of course, the last thing any of these Brøndby players want at the moment is any sort of niggle with the first game of the season coming up at the weekend.
But see, the manager's not 100% clear in this team, and these players, it's their last chance to get in the team for the first game. So they're all trying.
Lovely turn centre field by Peterson. Cody. just looking at how comfortable all the Liverpool youngsters are on the ball, clearly exactly what Brendan Rodgers will want. And it's interesting reading an interview with Jack Dunn, who's not involved here today, but another one of Liverpool's young talents. He was saying that Brendan Rodgers comes to nearly all the games at the particularly under 21 level. He knows all the players individually, knows all their strengths, all their weaknesses. It's great to know, isn't it, that he's so keen to know all about these young players and seems prepared to give them a chance as well, which not all managers either want to or are given the opportunity themselves to do through circumstance.
Yeah, well, I believe that as a manager, that's what I believe. I used to go and watch the under-15s, under-16s, under-17s. I used to watch games. You've got to build from the bottom up. You've got to install your philosophy on these young players who are, while you still can at 14, 15, 16, you can still go out there and just send the message across so that, there's Wardy there, nearly let me down. But I actually played him up front in a reserve game once. He done really well. He's not a bad centre forward. Good in the air.
And he's filled out now as well. It's a good cross. They really are some side, aren't they, from set pieces? Brøndby always dangerous, and that wasn't too far over.
Yeah, going back to Brendan, he takes an interest in the young players. It's unlucky. Good delivery in. Unlucky that another day that goes in, but yeah, he takes an interest in all these young players because he's been given obviously the license from the board to say, come on, build us a club, let's get some homegrown players in the team. But you have to get the message across when they're young. It's not all right not to run back. It's not all right to pull out of challenges. It's not all right to pull your head out of things. All the basics that you need as a player. It's not all right to not try one day and then come in the next day and be brilliant. All them things, the manager sends that message. It helps all the other coaches as well.
Strengthening, you mentioned earlier on, will be so important to Liverpool this season with the extra fixtures. It could mean that some of these young players do get more first-team minutes than perhaps many people are expecting right now. Liverpool played 43 matches last season in all competitions. Chelsea, for example, played 57, Arsenal 56. It will be around that sort of figure for Liverpool this season. Cody's ball in.
I think the thing is, if you keep winning League Cup matches, if you keep winning FA Cup matches, the more successful you are, the more games you're going to play. So some people say don't moan about it. Others will say that the players are overplayed and lose a bit of sharpness. But I know what I'd rather do. I'd rather be winning everything and keep playing.
Saw the focus right now for Liverpool on getting ready for the Premier League. Kick-off on the 28th of August is another date actually that they will be eagerly anticipating. They have the Champions League group stage draw. First ties to be played on the 16th, 17th of September. Fantastic to see a club with such a rich European pedigree, 5 times winners of the European Club Cup, back in the big time.
It really is great because I played for a number of different clubs, but supporters absolutely magnificent at Liverpool.
You're the proud holder of European goal-scoring record, aren't you, with Liverpool?
I am. How do you know that?
Little birdie told me.
Oh, right, yeah. In Europe, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that first season at Liverpool, it was when we won the FA Cup and I think we got the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup and we done well in the League Cup. I think we played 70 games. You know, you're going on about playing 43 games. I think it was 70 games we played because we kept doing well in the Cups.
It's kicked in by Peterson. Really good footwork there to get past Almavec, and it's diverted behind. As we go into the final minute of normal time at Brøndby Stadium, we've seen some really good glimpses, haven't we, from Peterson? Not just his goal, his all-round play, his willingness to get involved in all areas of the pitch.
Yeah, he's scored with his first touch, which helps with your confidence. He looks mobile, looks like he wants to win. Not going to just stand up there and wait for chances. He's going to chase things. And if you ask defenders what they don't like, it's strikers who chase and never give him a moment's peace. Nutmegs there.
Crowd enjoyed
One
that.
for the crowd.
Are we to see a late flurry here at Brøndby Stadium? The right back Almavec is a long way forward. It's McKinnock. trying to find that room for the shot, but it was closed down. It's good defending again by Lloyd Jones.
Didn't look as if he had McKeanock there. He looked like a big striker there, didn't he? When he had the ball at his feet.
Couldn't get his feet organised, could he?
No, too far away from his head. His feet.
Into added on time we go. Will we get a winner in this first pre-season friendly for Liverpool? Last warm-up game for Brøndby before their season proper starts on Sunday. Hassani calling for it, gets it too, has already hit the woodwork. Can he hit the target here? Works his way through. Oh, it's wonderful! A fantastic goal! And surely it wins this pre-season friendly for Brøndby.
Well, what a goal. You know, as I said, he won Macedonian Player of the Year and he's come on there. Glided past some defenders. And that, there's one for Jordan. He's in the same position as Jordan, but he's come in and finished the chance, which is the main thing. It's just a long diagonal ball. Andre Wisdom's he's backing off a little bit too far there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beats 4 men. Slots it in the corner. Not the best defending from Skirtle there. I think he could have done a little bit better. But all credit to him. Strength, skill, brilliant bit of skill there. And a great finish.
Well, it might be pre-season. It might not count for a lot in the grand scheme of things, but try telling that to Farhan Hassani. He will dine out on that goal for a very long time, I should imagine.
Yeah, and there's no time to recover now for Liverpool. Kick in the teeth later on. But as you said, it's a pre-season game, 45 minutes from most of the squad. No injuries, but don't know whether Ilori's pulled his hamstring or not, but hopefully not.
Certainly plenty of positives for Brendan Rodgers. Several established first-team players getting minutes under their belt, and we've seen so many of Liverpool's youth products. Perhaps many people seeing them for the first time as well, in their first taste, in some cases, of first-team action. Peterson getting a goal. We've seen glimpses of wonderful quality from Ibe.
Yeah, he had a brilliant 20 minutes. He's just drifted out of the game a little bit now.
Dusen finds centre forward McKeanock.
Got to get the press on now. Liverpool, as though he's sitting back now.
It's Liverpool's next pre-season opposition, Preston at Deepdale on Saturday. Another game you can see live on BT Sport. The Reds are off to the USA with games against Roma, Olympiacos, Manchester City and AC Milan after that Preston fixture. Ibe, Liverpool level it up again. They can't, there won't be time for it. Well, it's victory for Brøndby and Thomas Frank. Brendan Rodgers, as mentioned, will be delighted just to see some of his players get minutes under their belt. Hassani with the winning goal in added on time. What a goal it was as well. And we can have a look through the best of the goals in a moment. And of course, it was Brøndby who took the lead. Another beautiful goal from Christian Nørgaard after 24 minutes. Liverpool came out so strong with so many changes at the start of the second half. We're level 4 minutes after the break through Peterson after a fantastic work down the left wing by Ibe. Here are the goals.
Well, that's just a couple of mistakes there. Poor header, poor clearance, brilliant finish. Worthy of any game. 1-0 down, goalkeeper, no chance. So that header's got to come out for the throw in this side. Headed away from the danger area, and then Sosa's clearance is poor, but take nothing away from him. It's a brilliant finish.
He was presented with the opportunity. The 20-year-old Nørgaard, my goodness, didn't he take it? Really is a fantastic hit beyond the dive of Brad Jones.
Disguise on it as well. Oh, this is terrific skill.
It's the equaliser.
Pace. Beats 3 men. Gets to the